Coming up next, I'm giving y'all this prison story about a blood that gets brutally unalived for bad charges. Stay tuned to the Jersey Street Corner Prison Talk Show.
It's JS Corner from the prison story massacres. I be telling stories about the pushers and the traffickers, trying to keep the YNs away from the bandits. Don't eat the honey bun, don't drink the coke, don't become another victim or the butt of a joke. Don't close both eyes when you sleep or get choked. When you go to the mess hall, sit with your team, cause if you sit with some punk boy, you can get seen, then you can get dealt with. Prison justice like you know.
Word on the street is Blood got bad charges. Bad charges, say less. We finna handle him right now. What up? We are back. Who am I? Jersey Street Corner, and this is the Prison Talk Show, people. So let's get into it. Now, today, this story I have to tell y'all today is a very serious story, very sad story about, well, you guessed it, a misguided youth. Now, there's no shortage of them in prison, and you will bump into these misguided youth the longer your stay in prison is. It's inevitable. You're just going to bump into, pretty much a kid that hasn't been raised right and just been going down the wrong path. And sometimes people, those are exactly the type of guys the gangs should exclude. If you are ready on a war path with your life, you don't need a gang to make it worse. You don't need to be a crash out dummy. You don't need to be the guy walking around chumping other people just to make somebody else happy. Live your own life, man. So, this guy named Brian, he comes into the pod. He's a big blood, but he's really a little blood. And you know the type, real loud, aggressive, and I don't know, something about that gang make you pump your chest out, make you stand up tall as you could, being 5'6" or 5'7", but it don't matter how big or small you are, that gang put that battery in your back and make you want to act tough, even if you know you ain't. Just because you know you got 100 dudes behind you that as soon as they see you get disrespected, they following up with the hands and feet. Yeah. So, I've never been a fan of those guys. The guys that join a gang for protection. Let's just call it what it is. When you see a gang full of small guys, that means they know ain't no way in hell they gonna survive in prison without ganging up together. They need about 30 of them to take on, a couple of big guys. And that's just what it is. I get it. Just say what it is, though. Now, Brian, as soon as he come in the pod, right away, he assert himself. He go right for the blood set, let him know who he was and this and that. And I guess, these guys wasn't too hip on doing paperwork checks. And they weren't calling home for verification either. Sometimes it was more about numbers. Hey, you blood, I bump it, man. You with us. They not even checking your gangster. They not seeing how many fights you've been in prison, you ever poked anybody, none of that. So, it was real easy for this guy that we talking about today, Brian, to infiltrate the Bloods. Now, I know y'all saw the thumbnail, and we definitely gonna get right on into it. But first, let me give you an example of a few of the things that Brian was doing in the pod. Brian, being that he was in the Bloods, he was trying to extort younger, smaller inmates. Now, it didn't get much smaller than him. So some of these guys that he was actually extorting probably could have whooped them real good. But the fear of getting stomped out by 30 to 100 Bloods, well, that'll make you slide that commissary over a little quicker. And it wasn't much that you could do about it. We have a strict no snitching policy in the pod. Either you gotta fight about yours, or you know what I mean? You gotta figure it out, but you can't hit that gate and tell. If you hit that gate, you better just say you can't live here and see if that worked. But there was no fight in the Bloods. So Brian continued his mayhem all through the pod. He knew he could get away with it. I seen this guy shake down a couple of big jokers. Dudes bigger than him, over 6 feet. Swallow their pride and pass their commissary on over to him because they didn't want no smoke with the Bloods. Now, as you may or may not know, y'all, we all see each other in different prisons, and you get kicked out of this prison, you get sent there. Oh, well, your homie just got kicked out of a prison. He got sent to the same prison as you. Oh, you're going back to the prison you just came from. We flip-flop prisons like we change socks. If you got a 5 to 10 year bid, the chances of you staying in one prison the whole time is very slim unless you're a goody two-shoes and you just never get into any kind of shit. You're going to be going up from level 3 to level 4, maybe back down to level 3. Eventually, maybe you get to a level 2. Then you might mess up again, hit a level 5. Now you got to work your way back down again. So, doing time in lockup, it's various ways that you're going to bump into other inmates once they get shipped. That's not the last time you're going to see them if they got as much time to do as you. So that's what happened. An inmate came into our pod. He just came from another prison, y'all. This guy's name was Rumble, like one of the Autobots. And he was a tattoo artist. And he had big beef with the big blood. Brian was fitting to learn a lesson that he should have learned in the last prison he was at. But I guess they slid him up out of there before people could get a hold of him. But now I guess Rumble, he got caught for doing tattoos in that last prison and got shipped and ended up here with us. Now, what's the chances of Rumble ending up in the same section as our pod? Now, the pods are right next to each other. You got, pods A through D. Now, you figure A, which I'm in, is right next to B. When you hit the gate, when new inmates are coming in, you can see if your homies coming in, your ops, whoever. But it's all gates. So even if I'm in A pod, if I hit that gate and I look out there on Wednesday when the new inmates is coming, I see people going in. Now, immediately when I see Rumble, I'm like, hey, yo, Rumble! Yo! What up, my guy? Yo, I'm gonna try and get you transferred over here. Give me a few days. I'm gonna try and get you over here. Rumble was cool as hell. Now, Rumble was a neutron, but he had mad respect in the pod. Mad respect in the prison. And that's any prison he went to. He had time to do. He was a tattoo artist. Now, if there's anybody in the prison that gets respect, it's the tattoo artist. Because the tattoo artist has to be friends with the Bloods, the Crips, the ABs. All of the other gangs in the prison, depending on, what pod you are, because each pod normally has their own tattoo guy. But Rumble was ours. And I was going to make sure that he retained that position in this pod when he got over. Now, I had no clue that this dude, Brian, had beef with Rumble, or rather, Rumble had beef with him. I didn't even know that they knew each other from the last joint they was at. Now, when I finally get up with Rumble, we walk in the yard, and he telling me, like, yeah, man, I got caught. This dumbass dude, man, I was doing a tattoo, and he went out to mess hall leaking. He had red stuff coming all out of his back and the side of his neck and stuff from the tattoo. It wasn't healed yet. And fool messed around and got my mom's cell tossed. So I just came out of lockdown. I was in lockdown for the last 90 days, And then they shipped me here. So you already know I need some equipment. Know what I mean? Like, I gotta get to work. I gotta eat. He talking about he need equipment to make a tattoo gun with. Oh, it don't stop. The hustle don't stop. They gonna get that ink. They gonna get them pens and get it popping. Now, he get to telling me about some incidents that was happening at the last prison. He was like, yeah, man, last prison, it was this fake little blood dude over there, man. Dude, he had me do a blood tattoo on him. Big joint. And then bucked on me. Didn't want to pay me. So I couldn't do nothing about it because he had too many homies in that prison. But now, I'm going to tell you what happened. How I got my lick back. So I had my people on the outside do a little investigating on old boy. And I asked one of the COs to confirm my findings. And I found out old boy was a Chomo. Yeah, he touched his sister. I'm like, say word. Nah, man, you for real? I swear. You can ask the homies in the other prison. You can even get it verified here. If you got a CO that's cool, get him to verify the charges. Tell him you want to know what this dude in here for. Else he can't stay in here. Tell him and see if the CO make it happen. So I'm like, I bet. Dig. I'm going to tell my cousin Dee to find out. Now, let's fast forward a little bit. We get that word back to the CO, and we get it out to some of the homies in the pod. Now, they got strict orders from the OG not to say one word. Don't treat this dude different. Don't let on nothing that, the investigation isn't underway. So CO comes back and says, yo, I don't know how I ain't even noticed this. Like, yeah, that little dude right there supposed to be a blood? Man, yeah, he touched his sister, man. That's what he in here for. He said he got 10 years. Man, he got short time. He only got 5 years, and he only got to do 3 of that before they let him back out there again to do it again. And, everybody like, oh hell nah, man. Nah, dude ain't gonna make it. That's on some other shit. His sister blood? Nah. We fitting have a talk with homie. We gotta have a meeting out in the yard. So, everybody put the wheels in motion. Now, Brian normally went to school during the day, so he wasn't there for this little mini meeting. But he was supposed to go to school the next day when they told him, hey, listen, we need you out in the yard. We having a big meeting, da-da-da-da-da. And he like, all right, I don't know if this guy was very naive or thought he was getting maybe moved up a rank or something. But all these dudes around you. And he like in the last group of people to walk out to the yard. So by the time he gets there, they all together. It's at least 70, 75 of them out there in the yard, yo. Now, this guy was so naive to the fact that they was there for him. When they start talking about what they was there for, the OG told everybody to be quiet so he could speak. He said, now, there's been somebody here in our ranks that's here for some crazy, crazy Chomo charges, and we got to get him out of the set. Right now, right here. Now, it's a huge circle. You can't hardly see through this circle, and that's on purpose because they don't want the guards to be able to get a clear view of who's doing what in the immediate circle. Now, Brian still don't know they're talking about him. It's almost like he forgot his own charges, or maybe he wanted to really believe it wasn't him. But everybody knew it was him but him. So as the OG kept talking, he said, I'm going to give you the one opportunity to come out in the open with it right now, and we'll take it easy on you. We'll take it easy on you if you come out and admit what you did right now and apologize. Brian ain't moved, y'all. Now, whether or not OG was telling the truth, they were going to take it easy on him or not, which, by the way, I don't think they was going to take it easy on him. I just think they wanted to see if he was going to man up. All I know is, now I'm all the way across the yard. I can see kind of through the circle what's going on. All I know is they start crossing him left and right. Every blood that was standing here and here and here and here, it's like they all turned, homed in on homeboy, and all you saw was left and right hooks. Bing, bing, bing. Man, they rushed him, got him to the floor, and started stomping him out, stomping him out. They stomping a literal mud hole in his ass. Yeah, y'all. Now, this is where it gets brutal. I know y'all like, dang, it didn't get brutal yet. No, people, it didn't get brutal yet. Keep listening. Matter of fact, hit that like button if you ain't hit it yet. Y'all know the vibes. They decided he gonna get 50 gut checks. And if he's still walking after that, then they just gonna straight up slit his throat. Because he wasn't walking out of this situation alive. Now, they stood him up. Brian could barely stand on his own. They holding him up under each arm. And they got the biggest. Remember I said at least 75 bloods. They got the 50 biggest bloods on that yard for those gut checks. And when I say gut check, I mean his guts really got checked. How they didn't come spewing out of his mouth with every check, I don't know. But it was like, you know, a baseball player wind back to throw the ball, throw that pitch. These dudes was like, boom! All you heard was, whoa! Dry heaves. To the point where I'd say around the 35th gut check, he wasn't making noise anymore. I don't know if they exhausted his windpipes or he just didn't have anything else to spew out. There was no more bile to throw up, because by the 35th, 36th gut check, he had already done spit up his lunch. He's bleeding profusely out of his mouth and nose. And they still getting to hold him back up. Hold him up. Hold him up. 15 more. 16 more. And boom. 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 And it's like a shotgun, repetitive, back to back. Boom. 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 They giving them to him. And once they got to the 50th gut check, y'all, they dropped the old boy on the floor. I don't even know if he was breathing after the 40th. But by the 50th, he definitely was not. Now, after that, everybody dispersed slowly to the point the guards had no clue what was going on until they start seeing a bunch of inmates over there trying to wash off their knuckles and their hands and stuff and change shirts and this and that. Now, once they seen that happen, they already knew something happened out there on that yard. And headed on out there, got everybody down on the ground. Down on the ground. Now, some of these jokers got away with it. They were smart. Some of them put plastic bags over their shoes. Some of them didn't. And yeah, you washed your hands and changed your shirt, but you got specks of blood on your state boots, my boy. Lock them up. Lock them up. Lock them up. The people that was involved that got caught was happy to go do that time. They didn't mind going to do that time. In their brain, they just unalive an offender. And the world is a much better place without offenders. Wouldn't you say? Unfortunately, the only one that got the bad end of the stick here was Brian's mom. Not only did she have to deal with her young daughter being traumatized by her son, but in addition to that, she also lost her son in prison. And Unfortunately, y'all, things like this happen every day. State to state, country to country. Brothers, uncles, fathers get unalived for less in prison. So, I guess the best scenario is not to end up there. Listen, that's going to be it for this story, y'all. I hope you liked it. I hope it hit hard with some of y'all. I think some of y'all think prison ain't a real place. But I'm here to tell y'all it is. Stay tuned to the Jersey Street Corner Prison Talk Show. I am your boy, Jersey Street Corner, and I'm out.
It's JS Corner from the prison story massacres. I be telling stories about the pushers and the traffickers, trying to keep the YNs away from the bandits. Don't eat the honey bun, don't drink the coke, don't become another victim or the butt of a joke. Don't close both eyes when you sleep or get choked. When you go to the mess hall, sit with your team, cause if you sit with some punk boy, you can get seen, then you can get dealt with. Prison justice like you never felt it. I be taking y'all back to stories of the helpless. That lava I spit, get your boys' stories melted. I spit about prison justice cause I dealt it. And you a real hater if you can't respect it. All that bullshit, yeah, I'm here to check that. Any confrontation, I'ma show up. Bet that. You a real